Yeah.
Part of that flag there.
Slide the belt plates on the Ohio.
They don't have to go to IKEA.
Get you ready for your conference real quick.
Yep. I don't know. Or maybe I'll get a hold of Brian unless you have a bill.
I can look, yeah.
And right for AC veterans, stag display.
My dog
Played softball over in Ohio.
Okay, well, thank you.
In the St. Mary's.
Yeah,
There were some girls that could play.
Yeah.
I don't know, I got what, why, you gotta go
You
somewhere?
do the fall ball now.
I just saw.
No, I was just.
The old guy showed you been in business.
Our property down South Adams, they never wanted our girls to get broke up.
You have any updates?
Get them mixed in with these Ohio
Well, I
teams
mean,
in school.
pretty
You
much
know,
we've
let them
gone
get
over
coached
it.
by.
We enjoyed it.
Yeah, let them get coached by some other coaches outside the
Absolutely, because then it's not the name
And
game.
the reason being, because I have somebody else from Decatur that.
What year did your daughter graduate?
If he.
2020 and
It
2021.
really depended on budget and everything, so that was something I was gonna.
They were over the my girls, 'cause my girls,
Thank you.
well, Caitlin would have been COVID year. They didn't have a season her senior year. And Michaela was 2 years later. So 4 years ago, Michaela graduated.
I got mine.
I got mine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know, and I appreciate that. I just wanted to look at numbers and such.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, guys, did you guys get a chance to look at the, entertain a motion to accept it?
I'll make a motion to accept last month's minutes.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, let's start with new business. What do you got for us, Justin? Any new business?
Got a little bit of everything. New business would be, stormwater issues on Clover Lane that's gonna get dug up next week. Actually, the issue is actually in between Andrews Street and the alley to the north. That will see a whole new section of storm line replaced. And heavy trash is next week. And then, I don't know, this whole crossing, school crossing thing, you want me to talk about that now or later? Because it needs to be talked about. So, the crossing at the school was a nightmare. There are cars dropping people off in the front of the bank, in the back of the bank. There's cars trying to get through as normal traffic. There's cars dropping people off in front of where the crossing guard parks and in the back of where the crossing guard parks. So not only do you gotta watch the kids cross the street for the cars that are trying to get through that are supposed to get through, but everybody else who wants to drop their kids off everywhere where the school has not designated a drop-off. So currently, there is an ordinance that was put in place back in 1994 that has not been addressed ever, I don't think. And once the highway project's done, there won't be parking on the highway at all. I have emailed NDOT to ask them if there will be highway parking allowed in front of the bank and the post office because the parking there is limited. I have not heard back from them yet on that, but like the afternoons I was through there, this afternoon I had to come back and do something at the sewer. It's even worse in the afternoons. I don't know that anybody parked at the bank was actually at the bank. And it was on both sides of the road. So I did talk with Nathan a little bit. I think we're gonna sit down and talk with the school first.
I think that needs to be.
But this ordinance is gonna come into play, and it is a legal ordinance, so it might as well be enforced as soon as possible before somebody gets hurt really, really bad. I did crossing guard for a week right before spring break, and I couldn't believe the disaster that is occurring. That the line behind the school that they put in there to come in around the county garage and drop off, go down the alley and exit, that line is nice and smooth once it gets moving. I don't know, somebody's gonna get hurt, whether it be in the morning or the afternoon, somebody's gonna get hurt, it's just a matter of time.
State highway putting up signs,
I've reached out to them, I've sent the ordinance to the local guy, he passed it on to the sign group. I gotta reach out to the sign group, they wanna meet and go over some stuff. But the ordinance states, it was from Keller Street to Adams Street, both sides of the road. So,
And it's no parking, Justin?
yeah,
During school times.
all times.
Is that something that we need to put on like our water bill? Just saying, hey, a reminder.
I mean, you could, but there's not a lot of room.
I have a feeling that
There's limited room on,
I'm only given a certain amount of
you get a
character.
little box.
If we speak to admin at AC, I'm sure they could probably broadcast it a lot better than.
I was gonna say, I have a feeling a lot of it's from out of town stuff too.
Oh,
Well,
no,
if they're
no,
dropping kids
no.
off and,
It's town people, it's
Yeah.
out of town people, I'm sorry, but it's lazy.
There's a sign posted about no parking, correct?
There are signs, there's not enough, we're gonna get more.
I did see it on the way home today,
Well, it
heading
really-
east.
what it really comes down to is that that line is so long, people want to be trapped in that
I'm sorry, that's
line.
the drop off though.
I'm not.
I mean, you're trying, the bad thing is the bank isn't even open in the morning, so if the bank was open and they were taking direct to people, plus the people dropping off in the back trying to get out, like, either, there are people that will drop off at the corner of Park Street and their kids will walk down the sidewalk, great, because them people are either going left or they're slowly turning right, and we know where they're at.
Right. Yeah.
But them kids come up in between houses, they come up the sidewalk on one side or the other, they come out of nowhere. And I don't know, it's,
We have about 50 kids in the morning. It's really kind of a lot of kids.
Yeah,
So-
I would just say the best thing to do is just talk to the school.
I mean, that's gonna be a start. And I won't get into it, but I've talked to somebody already that's trying to deal with it and it hasn't been good received over there.
The school has a reason.
So we can talk about that later, but
Hey, Justin, is there one crosswalk or more two?
there's only one.
One crosswalk, okay, I've never seen
We
it.
could put signs up, we could have.
We can't put any signs up.
No, state.
That's a state highway.
The state could put signs up.
They will.
That doesn't mean that they're gonna abide by it.
Well, but once it starts getting enforced, then they will.
Since it's a state ordinance, it can be enforced by any law officer, not just the Monroe PD, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yes.
Sheriff Department, state?
Yes.
And I can put in a copy of the ordinance with each bill without any issue.
My problem is this, we have set the standard by not enforcing the code since 1994. It needs to be enforced, and I agree with you, Justin, but it's the way we go about it.
Well, right.
I don't think
Give it
snapping your finger and making it the next day is gonna work out
Oh, yeah.
appropriately. I would like to see 1 month from now to the next, the May meeting. Let's get with Adams Central. If we have to call an executive session, I think we call an executive session because the safety of our kids, that's of most importance. And then we need to reach out to the citizens that live on 124 to say this is now gonna be enforced.
Well, we can mail the ordinance and we can give them the heads up and we can skirt by with no penalty
Yes.
on the first offense or something, or, hey, just remember, this is coming. But if it's gonna be that issue down the road from this project that's coming, then let's get people used to it as well.
Yeah.
And I'm all for the bank and the post office, no parking in the front. I mean, we can't allow people to do that and not allow people to park in front of their houses or drop their kids off along the road. So.
I thought that it was a valid question based on.
Yeah, I think if we do it, we go all, I mean, it has to be everything, or it gets cited.
Well, really, to be honest with you, it's the state that determines that anyway, that's not us.
Yeah.
And that's why I emailed them to find out how they were looking at it on their end when this is all said and done anyhow, so.
That's up to the state to determine that part.
So I just,
But that's a state ordinance, not a town?
right.
Okay.
I
Just making sure
I did
that's not
email
really-
you that,
Yeah.
so
Mhm.
I want to make sure you got it.
Yeah, no, that would work
Because I
out.
know some people are gonna be upset that they're not gonna be able to park in front of their house, and I understand that, and I respect that. However, because of the safety, I think this
And
needs
that
to
was
be
one of the
enforced.
biggest issues whenever this project came up, was there was gonna be this buggy lane and no parking, but now there is no buggy lane
Correct.
and no parking, so.
I think just putting something on the Facebook page for the town,
Yeah,
and then putting something on the town's website also.
I can put the ordinance on the Facebook page.
It's easier to do that than add it to the water bill, I think,
Yeah.
unless it's really
We'll
small.
start printing it advertised and see if we can sit down.
Good.
So as far as new business goes, though, I don't have anything else.
Is that something that you want me to speak to the superintendent about, or you want me to tell him?
I mean, we can both go talk with them, and I've seen it firsthand, Steve's seen it firsthand, it's,
Because if anybody's gonna get it done, that's gonna be the person to do it.
well, yeah.
'Cause I'd personally like to see the school keep the speed limit down, the light flashing a little bit longer in the afternoon than they do.
What do you mean?
I think by 3:30, the light's off
For
for the changing it from the speed
the
limit
one-way?
when children are present.
That's a state thing
That's a
too.
state.
Because by what, 3:30, it's off and then it goes back up.
I think it's a half hour before and a half hour after, and I think that's covered by state statute too, maybe.
I'd have to look into
I was
it.
for sure that it was on before school, like, it was on at 7 or a little bit before.
Because like on a day where they go in late, at 8:30, that light doesn't flash at all.
Okay.
So it still it only covers that span. And that's something where I can talk to the sign guy and see how that request has to be presented.
I just see kids still running across the street, not looking at 3:30, 3:45. Now we have cross-country runners that are running alongside the road, so.
Yeah, we'll just have to see, and I can bring that to you at the next
Yeah.
meeting.
That's gonna be complicated to incorporate that after school activities though.
As far as that alleyway ordinance, do we have to stop our meeting and restart it?
Yeah, you gotta hold a public
Yeah,
meeting
let's-
separate from this.
Yes.
Let's get that going.
Okay, well, we'll close this meeting and we'll open up we'll open up our meeting for ordinance discussion, I guess, adopting of the ordinance.
That's 2026-1.
Yep.
Great.
Part B. Rachel, do I think I need to read this whole thing?
I think you just need to, Clayton would probably have you read the short title and then maybe skim through it to see if there's
Okay.
anything that's going to affect anyone.
Ordinance in Town of Monroe establishing traffic control devices and parking restrictions in certain alleyways. Whereas this ordinance is adopted pursuant to Indiana Code 921-1-3, which authorizes local authorities to regulate traffic, maintain traffic control devices, and regulate or prohibit parking on highways within their jurisdiction. Indiana Code, whatever, which defines highway to include alleys, and Indiana Code, which requires local traffic control devices to conform to the Indiana Manual or Uniform Traffic Devices. Whereas the purpose of this ordinance is to promote public safety, efficient traffic flow, and access for emergency and service vehicles within designated alleyways in Town of Monroe, and to provide the placement of traffic control devices and parking regulations consistent with state law. And whereas the town finds that certain alley intersection segments require traffic control devices and operational designations to address vehicle conflicts and to ensure safe movement.
Probably good. Do we need to explain a little bit as to what that's about?
As far as setting up stop signs.
Yield signs and stop signs at alleyway intersections only. After looking at this, I looked at it with Nathan, and we talked to Clayton. Alleyways are automatic stops at all crossroads. So it only affects the alley intersections and not in all directions, just depending on which intersection you're at as to what will be marked.
As blind spots.
Right, it's more about the blind spots than anything, to try and slow cars down in some of the alleyways where they're speeding through.
Basically, what it does is when we put a stop sign up, we have to have an ordinance behind it that it can be enforced.
Correct.
And that's what this is all about.
So do we need to make a motion to accept?
I'll accept the motion.
It's public hearing.
Well, the public hearing, unless anybody has comments, the public hearing is closed, and now we will begin with our new meeting again, and now I'll accept a motion on that ordinance.
I'll make the motion to approve 2026-1.
I'll second ordinance 2026-1.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Pass 3-0. Okay. Justin, go ahead with whatever else you've got.
Continue on?
Yeah.
All right. I'll just start off with the best news of the night.
Okay.
CCMG was funded, so we will be paving and widening and adding some drainage and sidewalks to a portion of East Andrews Street, as well as all of Keller Street. So the low bid was Brooks Construction Company with a bid of $354,009.00.
When are they going to start that program?
I don't know yet. I haven't been, it hasn't been officially awarded, so.
Okay, the reason why I'm asking that.
Ball season?
Yes.
It'll start when they start, and they'll work around a detour. And that's about the best we can do, because it is a large project. It's not gonna.
Brooks is the only one that we got.
No, we got 5 bids, but they were the lowest, the second lowest. Can't remember. It's over here. Burcott Incorporated was the second, then DC Construction Services, E&B Paving, S&S Directional Flooring.
Are they all pretty comparable, or?
No. Tens of thousands off in most cases.
Are they doing all of Andrews, or?
No, so it'll be a resurfacing from Van Buren to Studebaker, and then from Studebaker, date please. From Studebaker to Keller, half of that will be resurfaced, half of that will be widening. Sidewalks extended up to Keller Street, and then drainage from Keller Street all the way to the highway with widening kind of occurring both directions. Curb and gutter on the east side with a drain that drains out to the detention pond.
Well, I think we need to make a motion to accept that bid. So I'll entertain a motion for that.
I'll make a motion to accept that bid.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, 3-0, okay.
Okay, so that's that. The survey for the stormwater study has begun. Next week is going to be a busy week with also got a bunch of water services that's gonna get put in out here, as well as there's one more in Hackenjas Edition. We're gonna get those knocked out. I got a stormwater tile that's gonna get replaced, between Andrews and the alley to the north of Andrews. We're also gonna have a vac truck in town sucking out catch basins. This storm study, Miller Land Surveying was the company that got the award. They did begin surveying all topical and manholes anywhere in town that they saw or that they already had on file. Now comes inverts and outfalls to all catch basins. The study is to show where the water goes to better understand how the lay of the land, if you'll say. So that's all gonna start Monday, Tuesday next week and probably carry through the whole week. The back truck deal, that'll be just 1 to 2 days. But when you see Miller's guys out doing their stuff, that's what they're doing, is stormwater work. So
Justin, how are things looking with roads as far as like cold patching?
we're gonna get going on that pretty soon. It's been a crazy spring.
Okay.
So we've been trying some stuff that it comes in a bucket and it's a little pricey, so I don't use a lot of it, but some of these larger holes that come back, I tried some last year, it hasn't moved at all. So we're gonna do some more in some of the larger holes on Van Buren.
Okay.
And we'll be getting some cold patch to do everything else. The CCG, heavy trash, sewer rates, I believe is last on my list. I did get word back from Baker Tilly. Sewer rates, based on our rate increase that happened last October, they said are holding steady. We are dealing with some significant sewer issues still. I've got some parts in for what we've been discussing on the force main. To put that in perspective, that force main is going to need replaced sooner than later. We're going to do what we can to try and see if the blockage we're dealing with is in the ditches. There is no guarantee to that. So with that in mind, as well as just annual cost increases, everything's going up. They said 2 to 3% annually or biannually would be good practice to get into. If you did biannually, the idea behind that would be a small increase every other year for sewer, and then the opposite year's a small increase every other year for the water, just to keep up with cost of inflation and everything else that comes with maintenance increases. So we are going to have to, in my letter to you guys, I'm fairly confident I've got tie-ins on sump pumps. I'm getting a quote to do some manhole monitoring, and it might even be in my email. We'll start monitoring some manholes in different areas of town to see what flow. I noticed a massive influx of water at the West Lift Station. And it seems like every year it gets worse. So I know we went through, back when we did the sewer project, we did door-to-door inspections, pulled out all downspouts, pulled out all sump pumps. Things did really good. People get mad about wet yards, things go back to the old way. We can't do that. It's killing me and my nerves with our
Well, it's not only that, but we turn around, we end up paying for that.
we're treating, we're gonna treat millions of extra gallons that we don't need to treat.
We're being charged for that, and so we've got to do something about that.
So I know nobody likes a wet yard, and wet yards are temporary, but the cost to fix the sewer is not a cheap thing. And My sewer's full right now, full. So, I'm looking to do the manhole monitoring. Also, we'll probably have to go back. The ordinance allows us entry to inspect sump pumps. We will do we'll start door to doors again. I'll hire a third-party vendor. We've already got an initial checklist. Everybody's been checked off of it. And so we'll go back and see that they're still checked off. One thing that we've never done is dye testing. So we would partner with someone with a sewer camera. We could get 2 different colors of dyes and do different houses at a time so that we can go through and monitor Ds on the sewer line. And, you know, if it comes out when you flush the toilet or run the sump pump or whatever, sump pump run with dye is not good. A toilet flushed with dye would be good. So if it's not tied in inside, there's a chance that it could be tied in outside. That's something that's never been verified. So that is something that we're gonna have to,
Well, we have
Start
an ordinance
looking
on
at-
that too, and penalties that go along with that for people who do that, don't we?
that's good, yeah. You know, we do got fines and penalties associated with it. What it takes is manpower and money to do it. So my point being is 2 to 3% every other year is probably a good thing to run with. And so that we don't have to continually have a meeting for this every year. We can build it in for like 6 years and then do a study and see where we sit. Or you could go out 5 years, so you would do 2 increases at 2 to 3%, and then in 5 years do a study, see how you're sitting, and then move forward. That way at least you're educated. You know how the sewer is doing financially for the longevity of it.
Tail ordinance, I think we have to have Clayton.
So something to think about for the next meeting, but it's something that we're gonna probably need to act on fairly soon. We have not increased rates except for last year. That was the first time we've increased them since we had to increase them for the sewer project. So
Was that 2019?
I think it was a 2-fold increase. It happened 2 years back to back, I believe. It was a split increase, or it increased in phases over the course of a couple of years, because it was such a large increase from having not had rates kept up. So this is all just still part of the SRF loan requirements, as well as maintaining rates to keep up with issues and affordability. So,
Was Baker Tilly looking at a stormwater?
well, we talked about stormwater, but it's never been brought back up. So that's something else that, you know, people don't like wet yards. And okay, but you need to make sure you're putting your sump pump water and downspouts into the right tile. And a stormwater study will tell you what rate is needed for a stormwater utility that would grow like the water and the sewer do to be self-sustaining, but it's all self-sustaining through the rates and not just $20,000 a year budgeted for repairs.
How much is the stormwater project that has to be done this next week?
We're not paying, that's minimal. I mean, it's not gonna eat up half of my budget.
Okay.
Do you want me to continue to work on that stormwater?
I don't know about you two, but I think it's a good idea to look at it because,
Well, that was the whole reason why we wanted to do the water.
we've got the park and the water, and we gotta get this water under control.
Something to think about with the stormwater fee too is with this Maumee River Basin partnership we've got going, it's probably gonna, and I can't say for sure, but it's probably gonna be something that we're gonna be asked to put together anyhow. We're blessed to have them in our corner, but once they figure out what has to happen, you know, we are gonna have to have a way to keep it up and move forward.
I did say something to Baker Tilly last time, and asked them, their fees were quite a bit higher than the other two that I had gotten, and I asked if they could come down, but I haven't heard anything, so
Okay.
I'll talk to Greg about it.
I guess if there's no other questions, that's actually all I've got. So,
Okay.
do you, as far as the sewer increases, are you want to sit on that for a month, or do you want to get the ball rolling and
Well,
see?
we need to get a hold of Clayton, because I think we're gonna have to do an ordinance on what you're proposing, so that's something we need.
Yeah, he'll have to do an ordinance.
So we're gonna have to talk to him on that, so I'd like to just table that until next month.
Okay. Other than that, I don't have anything else. Thank you.
Okay, Jeff Stolner.
Okay, folks, I appreciate you giving me a little time. All I want to do is give you a quick update on where we are since we last talked, okay? We'll start out with the thing that the Town of Monroe can help me out with most. It's the application for a jet from either the National Museum of the Air Force or the Federal Surplus Program Agency down in state. And actually, that's the one that I fully anticipate we're going to end up getting. Okay, me and Justin worked on the applications, and I'm going to say we're at about the 95% done rate on that. As soon as we finish, we'll want to submit it for your council to review. If there's any issues, we can work through them, and then we'll need you folks' approval to go ahead and actually do the submittal, okay? Regarding the submittal, honestly, I think it would be important that we do this in person, and to me, that involves also having a representative, in my mind, Justin, come down with me to Indianapolis. That's the folks who I fully anticipate we're going to have to work closely with, because this just isn't the standard application and piece of equipment we're looking for. So I think the better we have face-to-face contacts with these folks, I would appreciate it if you would consider allowing him to come down with me when we do submit that, okay? But we're close, and so I anticipate the next thing will be we'll want to have your lawyer take a look at both applications.
If I may, Jeff, we have it put together. It just needs to be emailed to you guys and Clayton for review. So.
Okay. Second, design. We've kind of reached a basic concept of what this is going to look like. Right now, our primary location is the south side of the school, right in front of that parking lot, in front of the gymnasium. Our secondary is the north entrance off of Hope. So right now, if you were sitting on the south side of the school, the F-16 on the pylon would probably be located either to the left or right of the flagpole. We haven't really come up with that. But on the opposite side will be a brick donor walkway that leads to wherever, well, to the other side, winding around the flagpole and to a memorial plaza, a circle that will hold the memorials for the veterans and the all 6 of the different federal agencies, either the Air Force, Marines, or Army. And we're going to include Space Force in this. My architect said you really need to do that. So there'll be 6 of those, and then we'll have various memorials recognizing the contribution of Adams Central and Monroe community members that have served in the armed forces. So behind it, or maybe cat-a-corner, depending on the way that it fits on that area that we've got to work with, will be the pylon with the jet, okay? So that's just the basic concept. To that end, I've got a former AC grad, Paul Harding, class of 70. He is an architect up in Chicago, and he is currently coming up with a rendering, which which will be professionally done, and I think will be used throughout the project for our fundraising and what have you, just educational value. So I'm not sure where he's at on that. I just spoke with him about 2 weeks ago, and hopefully he's working towards getting that done for us. All right, fundraising. Basically, as I said, I think one of the big things that we have to do is put together a list of corporate donors who can give us either significant funds, hopefully, or maybe labor and materials. And I've already talked to a couple of other people. I am open to suggestions on local contractors that might be willing to help, okay? We already have some seed money so that when we have our press conference, you know, that thermometer with the little fundraising goal on the end of it isn't standing there totally empty. So I've been successful in getting actually a little bit of money already lined up. Kickoff for the fundraising will be Memorial Day weekend. We'll probably hold a press conference during the week. Nobody wants to come out here on Memorial Day weekend, but we'll hold a press conference with a news release set up maybe on a Wednesday or Thursday prior. I'm not really sure. And I haven't picked a location for that yet. So I might be talking to a few more people on whether they think that'll be appropriate. Our fundraising is going to be done through the Adams County Community Foundation, okay? So we will be instructing people that want to donate to basically write a check to that organization. And to that end, we actually we'll have both a Facebook page and I've just published a website, okay? Now, I'm going to give you guys the name of the website, but I'll ask the gentleman from the press not to publish it. It's not ready yet. It's not operational. But I don't mind you guys taking a look at it, and it will get better. But the name of it is simple, acveteransmemorial.com. All in small letters, no apostrophe, and that's all you really need to Google. It hopefully will take you to it. And you can look at it. Like I said, I think I just now got the donate button working. That's important. You know? So it'll be a work in progress is what I will tell you. I anticipate, well, I also want to mention Pam Callagher of Flight Well has volunteered to kind of be our front man for fundraising, okay? So you'll probably be seeing him lead the kickoff news conference and that sort of thing. But he, I think, brings a lot of legitimacy to the organization as far as financial knowledge, and also, more importantly, he's an AC grad. Now, he's a Navy aviator. I'm not going to get into that, but I'm still hoping for an F-16, not an F-18. I anticipate 6 to 12 months. That's what I'm hoping to get to our goal, okay?
That's a fundraising.
You kind of think it up, start it in place?
Yes.
Okay.
We're hoping to get this kicked off Memorial Day weekend, and hopefully by the next, we've reached our goal, and maybe before, okay? Guess it just goes on how well we publicize and how aggressively we go after it, okay? Regarding the Facebook page and the web page, I would ask that both the Town of Monroe and I'll also ask Adams Central consider me allowing to have a URL link on maybe your Facebook page. I'm not sure of the legalities of that, so that's probably something you have to check out, but I'd ask that you consider doing that. Initially, I'm sure a lot more people look at your Facebook page, and I'm sure Adams Central has the same thing too. So it'll be a matter of publicizing the site, okay? And really, you know, that's pretty much it, okay? I think we're moving along, and there's, like I say, a number of different parts and pieces, but I'm not hitting any real roadblocks, is what I'll tell you, okay? Do you have any questions?
Don't have none.
Okay. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Don't leave, I'll talk to you afterwards.
Town marshal.
Well, how much do you want to know?
I don't know that you really want me to get into what I talked to you about prior to the meeting, but everything's moving along. We're just buttoning up things, tying up loose ends with State Link and IDEX, NCIC. Just waiting on their response and ready to go. So, other than that, I think that's pretty much it. Just waiting.
Hurry up and wait.
Yep.
What's the average hours that have been worked?
Rachel.
20-ish?
Yeah. You want me to bring that up, Mike, or not?
You can if you want.
I mean, that was just a thought prior to the meeting, but I've been asked by another Decatur officer about wanting to come down and work part-time if we're not meeting that 40 hours, but I don't want to get too deep into it and, you know, be over, essentially, if everybody decides to start working. Yeah, they're 5 in a reserve, but I have to look at costs of, like, startup costs, you know, going, getting equipment and that kind of stuff.
We don't have a problem with it.
If you're only hitting 20 hours average, then, yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
It's something I'm just considering right now, not an actual proposal.
I mean, we're budgeted for 40,
so.
we're only hitting half.
So
Yeah.
you can, we'll green light that. If you-
Between the Monroe Day and the 4-H fair, I
Yeah,
think that's not gonna hurt.
okay, all right.
That's my opinion, sorry.
Yeah, but I just wanted your guys' opinion on it anyway, so.
how much would it cost, like, just initial upfront to get them?
We have an estimated maybe 2,000.
2,000,
For
it's
equipment.
probably less.
Yeah.
Don't have a problem. If you need a motion, I'll entertain a motion for,
Do you want to get some more information before we?
Yeah,
well,
Okay.
bring it up.
let's do that, yeah.
Next month, and we'll just handle it then.
Yeah, it's just something to put in front of you right now.
Yep. Okay, fire department?
Well, without Clayton here, I really don't have a whole lot. I mean, we tabled that last topic from last month about the clothing allowance. Unless you want to talk about it and make a decision without him here, it's your choice.
We'll table that, okay. Well, I do know you got something going on this weekend.
Yeah, we have a breakfast this weekend with an Easter egg hunt with the kids. That's Saturday, 6 to 10.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Both of you guys for your services. We appreciate that, and the fire department itself. And then, okay, Rachel, what do you got for us? Anything?
You don't have anything?
Okay, well, the town attorney's not here, so is anybody out in the public that has anything they'd like to bring? Not, I'll entertain a motion for dismissal.
I'll make a motion.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.